What's up, Online Empire Academy? I am Joshua Woodward, and I am here with Jeff Cohen. How you doing, man?
Hey Josh, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
I'm doing well. If you guys don't know Jeff, he is from Seller Labs. Sorry, I saw your shirt and got thrown off for a second. He's from Seller Labs, and this is a device, not a device, what would you call it? A program. There we go. That's what I was looking for. A program that we use and we love. And I wanted to have him on just to kind of share his story. As you guys know, we love to hear the stories of the people who have made it successfully and who are doing great things out there. So Jeff, share us your story.
Yeah, so Seller Labs is a software company. I think one of the things a lot of people don't really know about us is we have 27 employees. We're based out of Athens, Georgia. We're a full-fledged software development shop, but we didn't start that way. So how did we get to where we are today, servicing close to $1.5 billion in online sales for our merchants? It kind of started, if you go back into the history. So Brandon Checkett's, one of our co-founders, actually runs a very successful book site called bookscouter.com. And from this site, we got very familiar with the book industry and buying and selling books online. And we kind of, Brandon and his partner Paul started buying books at the USPS auction. So if you go back a few years, the USPS auction actually used to be based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And when they talk about things falling off a truck, that's literally where things fell off a truck. And then they would put them in these big Gaylord boxes, and they would sell them at a live auction in Atlanta. And so Brandon and Paul were at these auctions buying boxes, books and batteries and computer parts and electronics and just kind of anything they could get their hands on. And they went from really like a shed, like they were literally like in like a storage unit, to a 4,000 square warehouse to a 10,000 square foot warehouse. And while we were running the 10,000 square foot warehouse, we were processing close to 50,000 tons of books a week.
Oh my gosh.
Both from Goodwill and USPS auction. And we one day we went to a conference. We went to the SCOE conference, and we were looking for software to make our business better. And what we found when we got there was that the industry back in 2013 was lacking software, and that we had actually built our own internal software that was significantly better than most of the stuff that was in the industry at that point in time.
Huh.
So we basically took a huge pivot in our company, and we said, we're kind of software developers by nature. And so we're going to kind of move towards the software development side of the business. So in late 2013, our first product, Feedback Genius, came to market. We had developed Feedback Genius as an internal tool to help us solve a problem. That problem was that when you sell books online, the majority of people who buy crappy used books still give you bad reviews.
Huh.
And so we needed a way to filter out so that we were only soliciting reviews from people who were buying our nicer books to combat the people that were buying our crappy books. And that was really how Feedback Genius was built. And then we kind of, re-platformed it so that it would be a scalable product. And that was really our first product that came to market, was Feedback Genius. That product really hit market in about 2014. We saw significant growth in 2014, and a lot of that growth was reinvested back into the company, and led to our second product, which was launched in January of 2015, which is Snagshout. And I can get a little bit more into that and kind of, what we do as well, if you're interested.
Yeah, totally. I think that, one of the things that I find so inspirational, and I'm finding I talk to so many people is that it's almost a dissatisfaction with where you're at. It's the desire that you always want to grow, and always, it's not that what you did before was bad. It's that where you're going in the future is so much better. And I love that you guys took a concept in 2013 that wasn't that wasn't there and then built something on it. And then from there, you guys have continued to develop and structure and set yourself up for the future. But you started as sellers. And that's, for those of you who are out there and doing this is all of our journey. Is we all start as sellers. You know, it's pretty much everybody you're going to hear on this show has started at one point as a seller and has grown. I was just talking with Dean about this morning, and I think you guys are a perfect example of what you took one concept and you're like, that's cool. Like, let's see what else we can help people with and grow with.
Yeah, I mean, we really founded our company on what we felt was missing in the space. We really founded the business on 3 principal beliefs. We believe in educating customers, right? Like being part of shows like this, running our own content, speaking at conferences, publishing white papers. We want to put really good quality content in the marketplace that helps sellers learn and grow their own businesses. The second is innovation. I mean, everything that we do, innovation is at the forefront of what we do. So in 2015, we were rated the #1 young tech startup company in Atlanta.
That's awesome.
And that's a real attribution to not just the products that we've developed, but the processes that we've created for developing our products. And, you know, you can't add all of these programmers in over a short period of time and still build quality products if you don't have processes in place. And I know one of the big things we like to preach in our education is that it's a joke, you know, you and I have had at conferences. I know Dean and Brett, we've all laughed about it. Like, the product doesn't matter, the process matters. And if you can really create a solid process, you can replicate that. So we created a solid process with Feedback Genius, and we replicated that with Snagshout, and we now are replicating that with our newest product, which is coming out this quarter. And we'll do that again with a 4th product that we're working on for 2016. So that's innovation is the forefront of what we do. We believe we always have to be innovating. The product should always be changing and updating as the market changes. And then finally, the biggest principle I think that drives our business is customer success. And I think a lot of companies say they want customer success, but we actually put our money where our mouth is. All of our pricing models for all of our software are built on the customer succeeding and us doing well as they do well. So it's all consumption-based pricing. So if you use our system a little, you pay a little. If you use it a lot, you pay a lot. And if you start using it when you're young and getting started, it doesn't cost you much. But as you grow, it still doesn't cost you proportionally much more. But we will actually succeed as our customers succeed. And that really puts us in line with our customers' goals and making sure that we're providing them quality education, you know, amazing technology, and the support they need to be successful.
I love that. I love that so much. I was taking notes. I loved what you said about product doesn't always matter, processes do. And I mean, that's so much of how we all do business and need to do business is that, like, if you're selling on eBay, you're selling on Amazon, it's not always your product that is going to catch the eye of the viewer. It's the way you present it and the process that's behind it and the way that you sell it and the way that you're marketing it. And I love that. I love that, you know, just to be reminded of, you know, hey, focus on the process behind it. How are you creating a substantial growth for your company? I love that.
Well, I think one of the things that I found, and I go to a lot of trade shows and I talk to a lot of successful sellers, is that each seller has their own definition of success, right? So I met a mom who probably makes about $60,000 a year selling on Amazon, and she's happy because her husband doesn't have to be on the road as much because she can provide supplemental income. That's success for her. I met an online retail arbitrage seller who's making 6 figures a month. The guy's doing $150,000 a month with retail arbitrage. Oh wait, he's working a full-time job in addition to what he's doing. He defined and developed a process. He's not doing anything different than what the other people are doing. He just has a different process for what he's doing. And so all of these sellers that we bump into that we find to be successful, and I'll put success in quotes because success is in their own right, how they define success. It's all because they've defined their process and they've matured their process to work for their business. It's not about them finding that one product that makes them the most successful.
Huh. I love that.
Yeah.
And how do you feel like what you do helps people define that process?
So I think that what we do, so our software is really life cycle based, right? So Feedback Genius is really going to help you once you already have products in the marketplace. And so what I like to say is that Feedback Genius is really helping you gain momentum with your organic sales. Snagshout kind of works on the other side, and it says it's kind of the chicken or egg. Like, I have a product, but I have no sales, but I need sales to get rank. So Snagshout kind of helps you propel your rank through connecting you with our audience of shoppers to provide discoverability of your product. And so it really kind of, we don't necessarily help our customers define the process for finding their own products, but we can help them along the way once they've found their products and they're selling their products online. Because hearing from your customers, people always say, I don't want to message my customers because they might tell me something bad. If there's something bad about your product, you should hear about it, and you should and you should stop buying that product, or you should refine that product to fix that problem. You shouldn't try to avoid negative attention. But the majority of people who actually provide feedback provide positive feedback, and there's positive ways to solicit feedback that take down the barrier and really engage with an audience in a way that helps them want to be positive back with you. The example I give, if you go to a restaurant to eat and they mess up your meal and the waitress isn't anywhere to be found, she doesn't offer you to recook the meal, she doesn't take the meal off your bill, you're going to leave that restaurant and you're going to be really upset. If they mess up your meal and you tell them and they apologize and the manager comes over, they replace your meal, they give you a discount on your bill, you're a lot more apt to say, you know what, I had a bad experience, but they handled it correctly. And so ultimately, you shouldn't be afraid of the negative. You should just handle it correctly. And then you should accentuate the positive by trying to drive your reviews and your seller feedback.
That's so cool. It's so interesting you're saying that, because I recently, we were actually both in Chicago at Chicago or Ecom Chicago. And after I went to Giordano's, it's this famous pizza place, deep dish pizza place. And me and my wife were there, and we had ordered a pizza. I think we'd ordered it like without onions or something, and it came and it had extra onions in it. and so I was like, hey, I can pick them out. I'm not super picky. And the waitress came up and she's like, hey, is everything okay? Like, is your order okay? And I was like, yeah, there's a ton of onions in it. We asked for none. And she was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to get you another pizza? And here I am with this massive pizza. I'm like, I think we're going to be good. Like, we can pick it out. And she's like, okay, like, don't worry. After that, the manager comes up and he's like, hey guys, I'm so sorry about that. Sorry for the mix up. He goes, I'm giving you guys 50% off of everything. So like, don't even worry about it. We didn't ask for it. We didn't do anything, but that made me a loyal customer.
Right.
I think you hit it on the head of like, customer service, creating that system behind you, that process behind you, is going to help move those things along that people end up becoming loyal customers. I mean, that's what's happened with me in my eBay business. I have people who continually buy stuff, that follow everything that I do, because I've had loyal customers and created those processes that develop that. So with Snagshout, can you kind of just walk us through what is it that it does?
Yeah, so we get that question a lot. I'd say the easiest way to understand Snagshout is to sign up and use it, but I'll try to give you a quick definition here. So Snagshout has over 70,000 shoppers, and our shoppers are looking for products at a discount. And in exchange for getting those products at a discount, they are more apt to leave product reviews, or what we call shouts about the product. So we call it a social, we say from the merchant side, it really starts with product discoverability. So you've got this huge world on Amazon and your product goes on there and you're one of 5,000 sellers of the same product, right? how do you become discoverable? Well, we have kind of a micro world of people who want to try your products, and they will try your product, and then they will be asked to leave reviews. They're not required to leave reviews because that's against Amazon's terms of service, but over 80% of our buyers do leave reviews. And we are building what we call a social engagement website. So to us, it's not about the user just buying and using the product. Like, that's awesome. That's a great first step. But it's really about, you're building a brand on Amazon. You've got your product and you've got your brand, and you're trying to build this on Amazon. And so you need to take your products and you need to put them in the marketplace for people to try and give you feedback, right? That's step one. Now you know whether your product has product market fit, right? We're going back to like basic college product marketing. Now you've got product market fit. You've got your first 10, 20 reviews. Now you need to get volume within your sales. So I know this is a tactic a lot of sellers use, but you can use a system and you can determine what you believe is the velocity needed for your product. So let's say you anticipate the velocity. We'll keep it really simple here and say it's 90 products a month is kind of ideal velocity of your products. Well, you need to get to 3 sales a day. The beauty of Snagshout is we can actually sell 3 of your products a day at a discounted price. And you're going to be generating, around, let's say, 70 to 80% reviews on those as well. As you begin to turn Snagshout down and take it down to 2 or 1 a day, your organic sales are going to start to go up because you're going to start ranking within the Amazon search algorithm because your sales are all there and present.
Dude, that is so cool. I'm actually on your site right now. If you guys want to look at it, it's just snagshout.com. And it's just a list of products. And I was thinking, oh, it's, a group of people that buys it, but I can go on there and buy it, correct?
Yeah, so anyone can be a shopper. All you need is an Amazon review profile. And with your Amazon review profile, you then become qualified to buy. We have a couple other qualifiers that you can use. We call them badges in our system. So you can verify your phone number. That kind of tells us you're a little bit more verified than somebody who just verified their email address. You can verify with your Facebook account. That again tells us you're a little bit more verified than you might have been with an email address. And the more verified you become as you build what we call your Shout score, you can actually gain access to bigger deals. So a merchant might offer a deal at 50% off, but if you're phone verified, that deal might be 80% off. So it really kind of is a little bit of social gaming from the shopper side, that the more the shopper does, the more kind of verified they become, and the more access they get to deals. Now, I want to be very clear, because we are very clear about what Snagshout does do and what it doesn't do. We do not penalize our shoppers for leaving negative reviews. That actually has nothing to do with their Shout score. So we're not a system where we can guarantee reviews. We're not a system where we'll guarantee positive reviews. What we like to say, it's pretty simple. Good products get good reviews. And if you've sourced a really crappy product, you're going to get crappy reviews. And you have to look at how the Amazon algorithm works and understand that you can only trick the system so far, right? So there's been a lot of talk about this, and I'd be happy to address like terms of service and all of that. But the Amazon, like the way it used to be, right? Let's talk about the process people used to do like 6 months ago. You used to bring your product to market, and you used to like go give 50 or 100 of them away in 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you skyrocket up the algorithm. And as you skyrocketed up the algorithm, what you did was you had your 50 or your 100 reviews that immediately posted. And then you started your sales, and you were getting like 2 or 3 sales a day. But all of a sudden you came shooting right back down the algorithm because maybe you got 50 sales in the next month, but you got no product reviews. Well, Amazon updated their algorithm, and they said the recency of reviews is just as important, or maybe more important, than the number of reviews that you have. So Amazon wants to see this balance, right? Just think about it logically. Amazon wants to display products that they know are going to sell. They make money, cha-ching, right? They want to sell products that are going to make customers happy. If you understand the 14 principles of Amazon, the number one principle of Amazon is customer satisfaction. They will lose money. They will lose they will lose profit to make a customer happy. So if your product is generating sales, it's making customers happy, they want to sell more of it. And so that's the simple formula that you have to follow. You can't game it because ultimately the market will correct itself. But if you're able to put your products in the market and generate consistent reviews around your products, you then let Amazon know that this is an important product to the people that are using it.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, does this work for somebody private labeling, or do you typically get wholesalers? What are the people that are coming into this market?
Yeah, so typically within Snagshout, we've had some people that do bundling that have tried it. I think the more successful people are the people who own the product listing. If you can own your Amazon brand registry, you'll be a lot more protected than if you're just trying to sell a generic product. Just because of hijacking that will occur, because anytime that you start to gain momentum within the system, you're going to have people try to jump onto your listings.
Yeah.
You can do it with wholesale relationships, but you really need to kind of own the product. If there's other sellers selling on the product, providing velocity to the search algorithm will benefit you, but it might benefit others as well. So you have to kind of define whether that's something that you want to do. But ultimately, if you're a private label owner and you own the brand registry and you own the product, Snagshout is an absolute perfect fit for you.
Yeah, I was stoked. Like, just looking through it, I was like, man, there are some fantastic products on here, and stuff that, I mean, it's on Amazon, represented on Amazon. But as you know, I work with our teams are private labeling all the time. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is an incredible opportunity for us to better position ourselves. I mean, you're talking about creating processes. This is a great process to be able to shoot our products to the top. And you know, we have systems that we've created, but I love the formula that you guys have and the process that you guys have.
Yeah, and for some people, you know, some people will say, well, I already have my core group that I do my initial sampling to. Awesome, that's great. We're just a marketplace. We're a marketplace of discoverability. And I have a client right now who's listed a product on our site, and I don't like to talk about product specifics. I like to talk about processes. And she listed her product at a 60% discount for like initial velocity of her product. I think she maxed it at 10 a day, but then she put an additional coupon code up at, I think, 25% off on her product, so that when her 10 a day at 60 run out, she's basically said to me, I'll sell these at 25% off all day long if your market is interested in them.
Huh.
And so what happens is that people are driven to Snagshout, and typically a deal expires, it runs out, right? Like the 10 were snagged quickly, but she still has another 100, I think, or 200 she's giving away each day at that 25% discount. And in her mind, she's not making as much profit, but she'll take the extra velocity. And that is really what couponing is about, right? Couponing is about exposing your brand to more people and looking for repeat buyers and looking for brand to build brand equity. And you have to look at a product like Snagshout as an advertising cost, because you're giving your products away for potentially, most likely, some type of loss. And there's a long-term return on the investment. So as you climb within the algorithm, that's where your return on investment is going to come. One thing I do like to caution people on, and maybe you guys have seen it as well, is you know, don't believe that within Amazon you can manufacture demand. So what I mean by that is, if you are sourcing a product and all of your research tells you that the velocity of this product is 100 units a month, don't believe that my program or anybody else's program is going to help you sell 1,000, because the velocity of Amazon is what it is. Now you can start going off channel, right? You can go and run Facebook ads to your Amazon ad, or you can run PPC ads to your Amazon page, and you can start driving more traffic to your site. But the velocity of Amazon is what it is. And I think that's something that when we talk to a lot of people about Snagshout, they're always like, well, I know I can get to 100. How do I get to 1,000? And we're like, well, the market doesn't dictate that product will sell 1,000. Yeah. So you can't we cannot manufacture long-term demand, but we can help you maximize the demand that Amazon has.
Very good. Man, this is exciting. I'm getting excited just about the opportunities that are here, and you know, I love it. I'd love to see, like, I don't know if you guys have worked on it, but I'd love to see an eBay variation too, because that's something that I know our community loves. So if it ever comes out, let me know. I'd be happy to hop on it.
Yeah, I'll take a note. I think ultimately the future of Snagshout, you know, we've never really looked at Snagshout as a Amazon review club. I think the Amazon review clubs have their place, and there's other sites that do that. We're kind of a step up from that because we really provide social engagement at the brand level. And so for us, the Amazon review is really just the start. So our users, after they snag your brand and they shout about it on Amazon, they can also post about that on Facebook and other social media sites. And what that does is that actually starts to propel potential sales for you. And ultimately, what we're looking to do is build social engagement about your brand. So we don't want just people on Amazon to read reviews. What happens is that, you know, Josh, you're a pretty popular guy, right? So you go and you use my product, and you post about it on Facebook, and all of a sudden your friends look at it and they go, oh, wow, Josh is using that. Maybe I'll try that. And now they're coming and they're checking out the product because they've gotten kind of a social endorsement from somebody they know about a product. And so that's where, you know, where Snagshout really is headed. That's kind of the next version of Snagshout is like, all right, there's phase 2, which is like, now I got what I needed for Amazon, right? Amazon, I got my conversion, I got my review. But what you really want is you want to start to build brand recognition. And it's one of the challenges you have because you're limited in how you can message your customers. And so obviously that's what Feedback Genius lets you do, is it lets you message your organic customers. But Snagshout actually allows you to promote your brand, because the customers on Snagshout are actually Snagshout customers. They're not Amazon customers. So you can actually promote them back to your Facebook page or your website or your Amazon page to drive additional activity. Now, I'll tell you outright, again, because we like to be open and honest, if your main goal is to try to use Snagshout to develop a lead list, it won't work for you. That's not what our customers are looking to be subscribed to. But if you are looking for it to build a brand and to take your brand, so I'll give you kind of a great example. We have a customer who's using our product, and they're using it to actually build a brand around their product. And as they've built their brand around their product, they got #1 product listing on Amazon, right? So they have that cool little banner, right, that we all want. They're now been approached by Target, and they're doing a test in 500 Target stores. Wow. And what they were able to do is, in a highly competitive term that has over 5,000 other people selling the same product, but they were actually able to build a product and turn that product into a brand, and then demonstrate the brand's viability outside of Amazon. And the first thing that was said to them when they showed up at their meeting with one of the big box stores was, hey, we saw your reviews on Amazon. So if you don't believe that your reviews are being read by other people, you're wrong. And wow. You know, one of the other things I like to share with people when I do consultations is Snagshout is awesome, and it's a great way to get your product discovered. But it's kind of like you need to start and make sure you have a clean house before you put it on the market to sell it, right? So we always like to tell people, one, make sure you've optimized your listings, right? Your title, your keywords, your bullet points, your photos, all the things that we've all talked about, right? You don't want people to start being driven to your listings if they're not going to convert when they're there. Yeah. Two is make sure you have inventory, right? So the biggest like fumble that we see a lot of sellers make is they start to get this velocity from some type of program. It's a process, right? So they're using some kind of program like Snagshout, and then all of a sudden they realize they have an 8-week lead time and they only have 6 weeks left of inventory. And the kiss of death is when your inventory runs out and all the work you just did to get to here just crumbles back down to the floor. And so we like to say, if you see that happening, start raising the price. Don't run out of inventory don't run out of inventory until you know you've got, and don't run out of inventory. I guess we'll just leave it at that, right? Like it's just that simple. Because you put too much effort into getting your product to a particular place to want to lose that inventory. And then finally, you really need a product like Feedback Genius in place. And here's the way I describe it. What you're soliciting ultimately conversions and reviews with a product like Snagshout, but you can be getting those reviews from your organic sales if you have a product like Feedback Genius. And Feedback Genius starts at $20 a month, right? So it's a really nominal cost when you're getting started. And so you really want to make sure your messaging is buttoned up for your organic sales, because the quicker you can get your organic sales generating all of this momentum for you, the quicker you can turn off your marketing, which ultimately saves you money and get your return on investment faster.
That's awesome. Well, I'm super excited about this. I mean, I saw some stuff on there. I'm going to go Christmas shopping now. So
yeah, absolutely.
For those of you who are listening and want to know more, where's the best place they can find all of your products, everything you guys are doing?
Yeah, sellerlabs.com is the best place to go. And you'll find out information on Feedback Genius, and you'll find out information on Snagshout and our newest product, Scope. And they can learn a lot. They can learn a lot there. That's the best place to get started.
Perfect. Well, if you guys want more information on it, it will be in all of the posts and all the links. If you're listening on iTunes, just click on our logo and the information will pop up. Jeff, thank you so much for being on. Seriously, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate it. And, maybe we'll look to come back and bring some customers on and talk about their processes of how they've used the tools.
Absolutely. Well, until next time, Empire, have a fantastic day. Again, like us, follow us, do all that. You can find us on YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, and our blog. So excited that you guys are here and excited for you guys to come back next time. Until next time, guys, have a great day.